What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 7 of the Unassisted podcast. And this one is going to be a very exciting one, to be fair. I think this might be the best topic so far. Post show, how to manage your post show in terms of nutrition, training, and just essentially just making sure you kind of can maximize that process as much as you can because it is definitely a phase that can make or break your growing phase and potentially also make or break your bodybuilding career if done the wrong way. It really can do. I've seen that happen to people. So obviously with shows picking up more people are going to be post show soon. It's a really good time to talk about this topic, I think. Um, but yeah, Elliot, would you agree with that? Like post show, there's a lot at stake.
A lot,
Yeah,
man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. As especially when if this is your first season as well, I think this podcast is going to be especially useful for you because
yeah,
I don't want to, I don't want to like say too much or put you in a bad headspace, but post show is also something that you need to think about managing. It's not just about your prep. I think post show should be
mm,
part of that consideration, and if it's
yeah.
not, yeah, it needs to be because it's definitely something that I think hits a lot of people in the face when they first compete. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of course, definitely. So before we get into that anyway, Elliot, how you doing? Like, it's not long until, well, it's still a while until you'll be post show, but not too long.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm good. It's like 7 weeks now until the first
7 weeks,
show.
yeah, crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I've actually finally finalized what shows I'm going to be doing and when I'm going to be competing. I don't know if I'm going to do UK DFPA, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
wow.
Yeah, we'll see. I was actually thinking of doing um, a BNBF qualifier and competing for a DFAC Pro card internationally, if I can.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Pretend there's a show in Italy in September, and then basically finishing my season around there. Do the WNBF as well. In on the 40th, 14th, I think it is WNBF. Yeah, 14th, the week before the UK
yeah, yeah.
DFPA. And then just PCA, which would be July and the end of September, so the 28th. So yeah, but I feel good. I feel like I'm getting leaner. I hit like my first new low in like 9 or 10 days the other day, and yeah, definitely a lot more detail, which is good. So yeah, all in all, it's going well, man. Um,
Yeah, nice. I think you're
yeah,
holding it pretty well, to be fair. Yeah,
yeah, I
definitely
feel all
holding it
right.
well.
It helps when you have a high day every 36 hours. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, unlike myself right now, but I guess I don't need it. Not yet. But yeah, we'll be sharing the stage then, potentially. Yeah,
I mean WMBF.
yeah,
We would be
potentially.
potentially, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we'll see. Maybe. Yeah, yeah.
How
But
about
nice, man.
yourself?
Yeah, all is going really well. I mean, I think we're gonna creep below the 80s very, very soon. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Definitely. We pushed on. We pulled 50 carb out. Just decided to just really push hard right now because I'm just in a position where like I just feel amazing. Like visually, the physique looks very full, round. Nothing's losing in terms of performance really, and things are holding up so well. So why not just push hard, get ahead, and just chill out later? So
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, pretty assertive decision right now with food, and then probably eat up a bit, and then you never know. My baseline diet might actually be more later, but just digging a bit harder right now, which is good. At the start, I felt it a bit, but now I feel like last couple of days I feel a lot better. Yeah, I can tell I'm getting a bit more used to it.
That's the thing. I think there's an acclimation period where you get used to it. Like people have said to me, "Oh, you've been holding that condition for a while," but it's like, yeah, it feels a bit weird maybe the first couple of weeks, but then you almost just it feels normal.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like as long as my
yeah,
sleep is
exactly.
okay and like yeah, I feel okay to be honest.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yes, all is good. But yeah. Anyway, so post show, I was thinking of a memory actually about my first experience post show. Just like a moment that like probably like the one of the worst moments I've had in a prep where I just like broke down. It was post show. Well, it wasn't prep, I guess, but it was literally it was my first prep. Like post show, it just got to me. Like I lost it. But whether or not that was for the wrong or the right reasons is up for debate because I did what a lot of, well, maybe it's changed now. I don't know. I'm sure there's many people still doing this approach, which is a massive mistake. Is like the whole reverse diet, post show where it's like, but like super slow. It's just like
Mm.
grueling and awful and not needed and not what you should be doing, especially as a natural. So my first ever time competing afterwards, I was like on like maybe 300 carb post show or like maybe less, like 250 carb or something. And just like slowly increasing food. And I was like, I literally thought, fuck this. Like, fuck this. And what am I doing this for?
Yeah.
Like, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. And yeah, I've got very like I've never really messed with food. I've never gone off my diet. Like I've never had a cheat meal when I've not been like allowed to have a cheat meal or so when you give that much to it, it can start to burn you down a bit at that stage. So that was like a memory I have, which makes me think about like essentially some people can you can be surprised post show like it's hard and it can surprise you because you might in your first prep, which I think I was think like the show's over and I'll start to feel better. And the truth is you're not going to feel better even if you were doing it the right way, eating more food, which I wasn't doing, but even if you were doing that, you're not going to feel instantly better. And it's about understanding that, it's about recognizing that it takes time to actually feel good again, in terms of hormonally, with appetite signaling and improving. Your body doesn't just suddenly change like a flick of a switch. It's a slow burning process,
Mm.
which that's the like tolling part with it. It can take a while and it's harder to lock in because you haven't got that goal. You haven't got that goal anymore. So then you start to think maybe what I thought in the moment, like what am I doing this for? So yeah, that was my first experience of post show. Just struggling. Yeah,
But
definitely.
did you end up putting on a lot of weight, or was it just kind of the mental battle that you had with feeling
Um,
off?
I think the post show was handled like I handled it fairly decently. I think from my memory, it wasn't bad at all. But I did like post. So this was with my first ever coach. Had like a bit of a mindset saying like, you know, enjoy food for the next 3 or 4 days, eat whatever you want for the next 3 or 4 days, and then it's back onto the diet. And then it's like one cheat meal a week. But I think that's good to do that. However, like I think it's how you phrase it. So I think if you say that to someone, they can go into the mindset, oh shit, I've got 3 or 4 days, and then it's back on diet, and then you just binge. You just binge because you've got this time, you got this ticking time bomb of like, okay, I'm back on the diet, and therefore you just cram and hoard foods in, and that's when you feel awful afterwards because instead this is what I've now learned in what I think is the best way to approach it is like post show you should almost be like, oh, I'm post show, oh, I could actually eat that if I wanted to, like, oh yeah, maybe I can eat that, not like, oh, okay, I've got this time, X amount of time, I need to eat this right now. It's like, okay, well, in a few weeks if I want to have something I can have something, having a bit more of a flexible mindset more long term will promote better control of your nutrition over time as opposed to the limited timeline that people get where they just go crazy and then they go back on the diet because it's that's actually worse, definitely.
Yeah, I hear you. I do hear you. I definitely agree with the thinking that as soon as you finish your prep, you're just going to feel like yourself again, and everything will
Yeah,
just go back to normal. I've definitely experienced that with myself and clients where you want training to go back to normal, and also because you spent 20 plus weeks feeling hungry, you think that's just going to go away because you've had what you've wanted post show. Like you stuff your face, and the next morning you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm this is not going away, and it doesn't go away for like weeks. After my
Yeah.
first season, I was like, because I'd never done a diet before, I'd never been in a position ever before my first prep where I needed to lose body fat. So I'd never had that feeling before of just feeling hungry post diet. So I was like, have I ruined my appetite here? Like, what have I done to myself? Because I was eating, like, I was confused. I was like, what have I actually done something wrong here?
Yeah.
Like, I think my body's just messed up forever now. Um, I get it wasn't horrendous.
Why
Again, like,
why would you say that was? Why was your appetite not? Why were you not super hungry?
oh no, I was super, I was incredibly hungry, but I was like, am I going to be like this for the rest of my life? I was like,
Oh, you
have
meant
I
you were
like,
hungry. Oh, right. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. I was, not, I
yeah,
was
yeah.
absolutely starving, bro. I was
You thought
like,
that was gonna be like, yeah, you
I
thought that
thought I was
was
gonna
forever.
be,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. I was like, is this ever gonna go? Like, I didn't even realize that it was a thing. Um,
I think this just stresses the importance of having a coach that really just walk the walk. It's like those moments you're like, oh, am I going to be hungry forever? If you have a coach that's like, I don't know, hasn't really walked the walk or hasn't got absolutely peeled before. Because nowadays there are coaches out there that like prep people for shows that haven't done a prep themselves yet because they've learned
hmm,
it through other people or they're taking their time to compete, which is fair enough, but like it's not ideal because you've got a client that's like post show starving and you're telling them, oh yeah, well it will go away. We're like, well, how do you know that? You haven't been through it.
yeah,
So yeah.
100%. I didn't do like a Larry Wheels though. I gained like 6 kilos in about a week, which is still pretty,
That is bad the day after. I think it's the day after you climb up a lot. Then a week later, you're like still the same. I think for me, like maybe the day after I was a few kilos up, then 2 days after I was like 5, and then like
yeah,
6, and then it holds. But it's just the look. It's especially if like with my old coach, like it's very old school strategies like cutting water or like pulling water down your line route. And when you do that, oh my God, it's awful. You get this water rebound, which is actually dangerous. You get like severe edema because you're eating loads of high sodium foods, and you're dehydrated, and then you're also spilling, and then you're eating loads of carbs, and then you just become like a water buffalo, and you feel horrendous.
yeah,
I'll put my hands up now. This is the thing I want to say. Like anyone that's watching this right now and they've binged post show, this is not us being like, oh, you shouldn't do it. If you do it, you're a fuck up. It's not the case at all. Like it's life, and we're all going to make these mistakes because we've done them ourselves. It's very, very normal. It's super hard to manage. Like I'll put my hands up now and admit that like there was times where literally I remember like at night I was throwing up, like being
yeah,
sick
man.
because
It's, yeah,
yeah, because I ate so much food, um, and like sweating at night as well. Yeah, so I've been there, I've done that, I've made mistakes, and it's hard. It's hard to avoid it when you restrict yourself for so long. But I think you just gotta set the tone for your prep and how you perceive it. Because if you're what most people think, oh yeah, that's the last show, I can enjoy food. Reminding yourself of that every day is just going to set you up to fail. If you tell yourself, oh, okay, post show, I'm going to be smart, I'm going to be controlled. You haven't got a cupboard full of foods. I think you're going to be on a better path for doing it the right way. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, you got to learn from it. You have to learn from it. If you want to be in bodybuilding for a while, you have to get better every post show. I feel like my worst post show was the first one, but that was because I was doing my cardio whilst watching eating videos, and I was like
Yeah.
looking at
Yeah. I did that.
cookies and buying cookies and baked
Yeah.
goods, and like I had the stock of stuff to eat after my show. And as I've just done other preps, yeah, you learn from it and you're like, well, that was stupid. I won't do that next time. And then you just get better. It gets easier uh, every time you compete. But
You know
yeah,
what I'm telling myself now about like why I want to nail post show is because when it's like a heat wave in summer next year, I want to be in shape and not sweating like crazy and struggling, feeling awful.
yeah,
Because I remember like the previous summers just hating it being like heavy and hot and also I bought clothes that like fit really nice right now and I want to fit in them for longer. So Maybe that's a good idea. Just remind yourself of things that, like, well, I want to be in a good shape for next summer. Because if you in theory, like, let's say for example, just use myself for example, like I compete at 74 kilograms pilled, and then the post show is managed well, I'd be like 78 ish, 79, starting like maybe a month later, I'm at like 78 kilograms, 79. Yeah, probably like 78, like 4 weeks later. And then from there on, it's like a kilo a month rate of gain. So then in that theory, say October, what, I'm 78 kilos, and then I'm going up like a kilo a month. By, yeah, July, I'm still going to be, I'm gonna be like mid 80s and
Great
like
look.
in a great look and still be in shape, which would be awesome. And I'll still be hungry. So like, when you get to that point, you just don't care about food anymore, and you have that flexibility, but you don't care. It's like, at least in summer, I'll still enjoy the meals I'm eating. Just think more about that. Think about like the quality of your life in your bulk 6 months 6 months down the line if you actually know your post show, and you
Yeah,
can enjoy your foods then. Yeah.
100%. 100%. I think it's less common, but there are people that almost take pride in also doing the opposite, where they try and stay peeled for as long as humanly
Yeah.
possible.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's just stupid. Like the first, this is so in terms of managing your post show, what we're trying to achieve, you know, that isn't what we're trying to achieve. We're not trying to stay shredded. We're literally trying to think, how can we grow as soon as we can? How can we perform at our best as soon as we can, but also find that balance where like we're still doing this for a long period of time, because you gain 20 kilos of body weight in 2, 3 months, you're going to be performing pretty well. I remember like previous people I worked with went in the post show, like they gained weight really quick and they're like, oh yeah, it's great, I'm performing amazingly. I'm like, well, yeah, but if you got to that body weight later, imagine how strong you'd be at that body weight. You'd be way stronger. So you got to find that balance. But you want to get baseline food up, get body weight up, start focusing on recovering quick, because there's no point spinning your wheels. In bodybuilding, the last thing you want to do is spin your wheels. You want to always be moving forward. So we need to get you recovered so you can move forward as soon as you can in the gym and be productive in the gym. If your hormonal position's awful, your sex drive is in the bin, and your hunger hormones are through the roof, your leptin and ghrelin is still super high, your body's not in a functional state to build muscle. So you need to get out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The objective is not to be peeled. Yeah, it's now to build muscle. I think what would your approach be to somebody like that with a diet? Like me personally, I would maybe look back at what that person was eating at 8 to 10 weeks out and potentially use that as a bit of a guide to bring them out of that kind of
Yeah, yeah.
competition state.
I've actually increased people's food more than that. Because if you increase their food a lot, like people adapt quick. So, for example, for me, maybe I'll be on 450 carb training day, something like that. So kind of like what your pre-prep diet numbers are, almost, because you would adapt to it quick. The thing is also is getting more food in the baseline diet promotes better adherence. So one of the things that's really like a problem is like when you've got the food too low that they can't adhere. So then they're not following the diet, but then their body weight keeps going up. So then they're hungrier day to day because their food isn't enough. So then they keep going up and up and up. But then it's the baseline diet that's limiting them, because the
Right.
baseline diet's not high enough to kind of curb the cravings. So I think getting food up is really important, especially like protein, and just trying to make them want to be able to adhere better, because then you can actually understand how much food they need, and then you can adjust because you can track that data accurately. Whereas people just can't stop going off the diet, then it's hard to understand how to adjust the food. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. How much weight gain then would you be looking to add on to somebody, like what kind of percentage over a period of time? Or is it very just dependent on how that person responds and their
Yeah, I think
adherence?
it's very person dependent. I don't get too bogged down on the data with this one. I think it's like listen to their body, see how they perform, look at the look and how it's changing, and yeah, just kind of consider that person as well, and it's also like consider the mental side of things. It's like trying to make sure that they can kind of keep moving forward for a long period of time and just in their best possible position to do that in a growing phase, for like, 10, 12 months, trying to just set that up as well as you can. It is very person dependent. Some people, and you can tell as well based on how the physique responds, kind of what they need. Like one thing that might confuse someone is and kind of be counterproductive is if you put food up a lot for someone that's like in the bin, like they were absolutely pilled, or the prep got a little bit harsh, and they're hormonally just in the bin, and you increase food a lot because you want them to recover, but then they gain weight quite quick, and then they just look terrible, and you're thinking, okay, well now we need to slow it down. But that's actually the last thing you want to do because the reason they look terrible isn't because they're gaining too quick, it's because they're in such a bad hormonal position that
Yeah.
their ability to look good is just not there. So I've seen certain people I've worked with who have got absolutely pilled. It's just a byproduct of it when you get pilled. You're not in a good spot hormonally. Look better now than they did 10 kilos ago, like 4 weeks post show. Like genuinely, like it's crazy. Like they look way better now, and they've just been gaining weight really slowly, and their body composition just looks better and better and better. And it's because of the hormonal position they're in now versus before. I think the first thing you notice is people will just gain it in like very easily, like places you can just gain fat easily, like your stomach. So people's midsections just
Yeah.
get super watery, and then people could make the comparisons like 4 kilos away from stage weight in prep versus 4 kilos away from the stage weight coming up, and I look terrible. I'm not growing. It's like you are growing. You're just puffy and not looking good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It just goes to the face and the belly. But then as your
Yeah, yeah,
testosterone just does that, as you
yeah.
kind of
Everything gets
recover,
better.
there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah. Training gets better, you feel better, everything just returns back to baseline with your hormones. Which is I get not to go off on a tangent, but I don't get why people do their bloods post show, like natties.
no, it's pointless. Yeah,
Why
it's
are
not
you
worth
getting your bloods done? Like, why are you stressing yourself out? I mean, like, my test is at 1 nanomole. Like, yeah, like, well done. Like,
it.
you know you need to eat food. Like, you're not
Yeah,
enhanced. You know
yeah,
you
yeah,
need to put food away now. That's the only way that's gonna go back up. I don't get that. I don't get doing that post show.
yeah,
But
100%. Yeah, yeah. But this is also why, like I think people that bulk for 6 months, especially in their first bulk after a show, are really like, or like even let's say it's 4 months, you're just missing out so much growth because I still think like I've noticed with clients the 12 to 15 week mark post show, everything gets so much better. Like it takes time. Like it takes time for you to not just be like normal again, but actually to be like potentially in a really good hormonal position that you were previously in. That takes time, and you want to make sure once you are at that position, you're not fat. Like you're still in a good shape. Because if you get recovered, but now you're just out of shape, like you've ruined you want to align it. You want to line it up so you can tap into that growth.
yeah, yeah, which is
Yeah.
yeah, I guess another kind of segue where it's like you should stay with your coach post show. If they're a
Yeah.
good coach. Yeah, you
Yeah.
should stay
Like
with your coach.
I like so I've never been without a coach, and no matter what the athletes I put on stage, like I just don't know. Like I don't think I can judge I can't. I don't know if I could self coach myself. It's just too in my head. But I can tell you right now, the time that I need to coach the most from a mental standpoint is post show. Like
Mm.
post show, I am like eager to grow, but equally extremely lost about like where my head's at. I just feel so, and anyone that's competed for like done a long prep will know what that feels like. And if I left a coach, just that lack of accountability when I feel lost, like you're just gonna eat badly, and you're not gonna optimize that process. So
Rarely ever seen it go well. Whenever someone's like, "Hey, coach, like I'm just yeah, like good, like it's got the prep's been good, it's done. I'm gonna just try this out on my own for a bit." It rarely goes well. It rarely ever goes
yeah,
well. Um,
100%. Well, I
yeah.
mean, my perspective on it is like with that, like if you want to be the best you can be, why would you ever be without a coach? Like, I don't know. Like,
Okay.
I feel like I know a lot of top athletes, top coaches are always with a coach. Like, certain individuals that self-coach have objective eyes on them all the time. Like, for example, AJ kept saying Coach Loz. Like, Loz was coaching him like in the peak week, but even like further, like early in his prep, he has that accountability through her. You know, so but yeah, post show 100%. You need to be having someone holding you account because otherwise
It's
you're
tough.
just gonna yeah. I would mess it up even now like
Yeah.
this year if I left AJ like one day after my show, yeah, it'll be hard.
Yeah, I see. Sweet. Okay, so training, approach to training when it comes to post show. Sorry,
Yeah, how
the
do you?
other one was gonna cut out. So yeah, how do I approach it? Training. So I was literally just saying, I think post show, I would stick with the same split that you had been doing
Yeah,
throughout your prep whilst you're recovering, whilst you're getting to a better place hormonally. And then once you feel a little bit more regulated, get onto a new split and start thinking about weaker body parts and things that you want to improve and new movements you want to put in. Because I think, I don't know if it's probably the case for you as well. When you get to the end of
mm,
your season and you don't feel as strong, as solid. You just crave putting in deadlifts, bench press, like
yeah,
squats. I'm gonna barbell squat again. And then as soon as you finish your season, you're like, right, I want for me, it was like, I want big legs, James Hollingshead squats. I'm doing that. Like, let's load this
literally,
up.
yeah,
Like I got two
it's
nanomole
literally
chest, right?
me.
Squat.
Like
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
barbell squat. Yeah,
yeah. So when AJ was coaching me, I was like, yeah, I need squats in my program immediately after this show. Um, I think that's silly because you could probably get yourself injured and
yeah,
you're not good. You're not going to be able to perform your best. You're getting too excited. Like, yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's boring, but it's the truth that like if you were given a week where you needed to grow as much as possible, like let's say next week you want to grow as much as possible, what would you do? You would do the same split. You perfected the art of those movements. So the reality is consistency with the same movements over time generates a more accurate stimulus. However, it's good to have a change in your plan at some point for enjoyable purposes. Like that's all it comes down to in my eyes. I think you can run up a movement for absolutely ages, like with no issues. But there will come a point where someone's going to need a change, and like I think the best time to do it is yeah, maybe like a couple of weeks post show. I've had clients like immediately post show, here's your plan because they're just edging to go and they're like, oh, I need a plan, let's do it. But I would tell them to deload, like don't run the volume I've set up here yet. Do like half the volume, get recovery in a good spot, and then you can get into it. And then other people I'll say, look, let's just give it a couple of weeks to run the usual split for now, get back into routine because novelty damages recovery, right? And you
yeah,
kind of want to stay, you want to get as fresh as you can, as quick as you can. So yeah, I completely agree. Like the best thing to do is give it some time. But I think sometimes, obviously, clients would want a plan in place straight away. That oh, I suppose so. I need a plan. Like, let's go. Let's change it up. Sometimes it can be quite hard as a coach to say no. Like, let's just run the same plan because it's very it's hard. Well, a client, I wouldn't be surprised if a client thinks you're just saying that because you can't be asked to write me a new plan yet.
yeah, yeah,
But genuinely, like it's the truth of it. Like that is what gets results. Like doing the same stuff for ages. Like like it's not because we don't want to change your plan. It's because it's just what works.
yeah. Yeah, like you said, you've spent months, probably even years doing these movements. You're really good at them. If anything, if you want to manage your injury risk or have a lower risk of injury, you're going to be best off doing that. If you want to recover the most, you're probably going to be best doing that because your body's been
Mm.
so accustomed to doing it. So, yeah, start throwing in a squat when you haven't done a squat in 4 years. It's, yeah, could be a bit of a shitstorm on your recovery.
No,
So,
absolutely. And yeah, I also really believe that the best. like if you train how you train to grow, like you train to retain, you're going to grow better. I think what people do when they go into surplus is they start trying to throw it around because they can get away with it because they've got more leverages, more stability behind their body weight, so they can just get stronger. But I think, yeah, if you train how you were previously in the prep in a surplus, amazing. Like you're going to grow so well. So sticking with a lot of similar movement patterns or just staying in that way, sticking to more stable environments and not just going, all right, I'm going to start throwing around a barbell squat is just going to get you more results, as you said. So yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So anyway, I'm sure people want to hear it. Like any good stories of post-show foods that you've had that like any memories? Because I remember with myself, like this was definitely the first show I ever did. Like Krispy Kremes, 12 of them polished, like in the car, like just terrible. But the problem was that I was just surrounded by like you watch like back then, everyone on YouTube made a thing of it. Like my post-show meals, it was just the norm. Like you just think it's what you should do. So I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna eat loads of donuts because I see everyone they compete and then they eat loads of donuts after.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I,
100%.
I even watched Chris Bumstead like do a whole video on him just eating loads of foods. Like I think it was back in the day. I wonder how many subs he had back then. But I was watching like at the start and yeah, he was doing it.
Yeah, him, like Regan Grimes.
Yeah,
Yeah, they all just posted like Christian Guzman, like
yeah, yeah. Chris,
my 12,000 calorie post show like binge. That would literally be the like my binge. You're like, oh, okay, like that's just like what you're supposed to do. So yeah, t- I I think one of them was from this place called it wasn't even that far post show to be, Chicken George in like Bedford. This is like chicken place. And I dusted off like I was just so many wings and like chips and a burger and just like then I had cookies afterwards and I was like
oh, good.
and I was saying to Bryony like I could eat that again. It's not like I didn't even feel it. I'm sure my blood pressure was like 200 over like 95, but it was yeah. My first season it was just cookies, but like I think I went through like six large ones at the venue. So like I got off stage
Yeah, you
and
just at the venue just eat.
just
I
at
just
the
had a
venue.
Domino's pizza at the venue. Like sat in
I,
the crowd, like, what am I doing?
yeah. Well, to be honest, I also really craved water because I restricted water pretty hard. Like my coach had me not really having any water on show day.
Yeah,
And I was like, I got off stage. I was like, the first thing I was like, I need to actually drink some water here. Otherwise, like, I'm fucked.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, so yeah, some things, but yeah, man.
yeah. Well, if all goes to plan this year, my post show might end in America again. And last time it ended in America, and I can tell you that is a dangerous place to be post show. Um, I actually remember after the Natural Olympia meet, and AJ went to the Cheesecake Factory,
Game
and he
over.
watched me have a burger and a cheesecake. And I remember saying to him like, "Oh, bread!" Like they were giving out bread, like warm bread with butter. I was just like, "Bread is just like that. Just such a simple thing like that. It's just so amazing." Like at that point, it's just pure carbohydrates. It's just like the
Yeah.
epitome of carbohydrate is bread. Um, but yeah, and I remember having like a burger, a cheesecake, and I remember going to bed and like my heart was just racing because I was so insulin sensitive. I just got the quickest release of energy ever. Like, and I'm just lying in bed. Like, I should have just gone for a run. Like,
Yeah.
but and then the next day I went to IHOP, which is you know IHOP?
Yeah. International
Yeah,
House of Pancakes, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
that was amazing. Like, oh, but I went to there and then we went train with AJ after that meal, which is quite funny. But I don't. To be fair, I think the last show I didn't handle that badly. Like those things are fine. It's just like it's in between things and kind of like what you do after. So like I have that meal and then I go and train and then I wait 4 or 5 hours till my next meal, sort of thing. You're not just endlessly eating. Like that's fine if you're
That's
actually
the
pilled,
problem.
and also if you're pilled. Like if you're actually absolutely skinned, doing that a little bit, like just a few meals, like off meals, post show immediately, it's not going to kill you. That's not binging. Binging is when you're literally just endlessly eating. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, if you take anything away from this, yeah, just it's not saying like the perfect post show is somebody who like just stays on plan and doesn't have anything that they've wanted to have. It's just like that mindless eating continuously throughout the day, which is yeah, if you're
yeah,
continuously eating like that for a week, then yeah, that's not going to end very well.
yeah.
So,
It's like the chocolate sweet. It's just don't give yourself stuff that like people buy stuff before post show, and it's like stuff you just snack at all day. I have another chocolate, I have another chocolate, and you just don't
yeah.
stop. And then you just never like you're always hungry, but you also never like actually feeling like hungry for a meal. Like you're hungry and you can't stop eating because everything just tastes just ridiculous. Like the
Yeah.
I'm always so fascinated how much taste buds change through prep versus growing phase. Like I'm having cream of rice now, and I'm like, this cream of rice. I remember like complaining that this was bad, and now I'm having it, and I'm like, this is
Right.
amazing.
Bro, I
Yeah,
literally bought some lemon cheesecake whey and put it in my oats. I was like, why does this, when it just tastes way too good? I'm just like, this shouldn't
yeah.
taste like this. I remember my first prep, bro, I hate bananas, yeah. I started eating bananas in my first
Yeah, you
prep.
start eating.
I was like, I'm eating banana. I was like, I don't like this food. And I was eating it. So yeah, it's funny. When you're hungry, you'll literally eat anything. So
Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other aspects of post show. I think have we covered everything? Training, nutrition, how to manage foods. Yeah, I guess also like in terms of macros and how you set that up, just to comment on that. Fats obviously get them up because it helps with hormonal function, but the main thing that pushes hormonal recovery is energy availability. So definitely get your carbohydrates in a strong position as well. This is the key thing, and the main thing to make you recover is just your rate of gain over time and just giving it time. Um, yeah. Anything else?
I think
I think.
I was gonna say about like maybe the level of data that you're tracking post show and like
Mm.
you've gone from like tracking your sodium and your water and in a prep. That doesn't have to necessarily continue post. Like if you feel like you need that mental break from doing that sort of thing, I think that helps
Yeah,
a lot of people too.
I completely agree. Yeah,
Um,
I think you should. Yeah, you should switch off a bit with that. But I'd also say like steps. Try and keep your steps at 10K. Like don't let them drop down because that's just going to help you with insulin sensitivity and using the food well. Um, Pull cardio out if you want, but just keep your steps at 10K at least. Like that's kind of
yeah,
the key. People just start chilling out with steps, and it's yeah, you don't want to do that. Um,
yeah,
and I guess what I say is when you go into post show, in terms of being in the best mindset post show, you need to have a goal. You need to have a goal in mind. Like you come off stage, like for example, I was thinking, we'll see, like I might take a 2 year off season or 3 year off season next. Like I come off stage and I'm like 2027, 2028, like immediately. Like that, for me, that's good. For some people, they don't need that. But for me and for my athletes that I work with, I think having a year that we put in place straight away, especially if you're a very hyper motivated person in prep, like putting a goal in place is so key. Like having something that you're just thinking about immediately, you're not as lost. Especially people with like ADHD and stuff, like they really struggle post show because they're just so like you know they've been putting their attention into this so much and they don't know where to put their attention into next. It's like
right.
have something in mind straight away. Otherwise, those tend to be the type of individuals that feel really lost post show. I found, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think also like if your season went really badly or if your season went really well, regardless, if you want to be a bodybuilder, a competitive bodybuilder, you're still going to go into your off season. You're still going to have a goal. It doesn't change anything.
Mm.
You still need
Yeah,
to have that you still have that long-term goal in place. Like if you went pro or didn't go pro, regardless, you're going to take an off season and try and improve.
yeah,
I think that's really important to remember.
yeah, exactly. And just set goals with your physique. Pick some movements that you enjoy. Maybe not the barbell squat, but pick movements that get you excited, get passionate for getting strong. Shift your goals towards that, being strong in the gym, as opposed to being attached to your visual look, because that's not going to be in your favor now. Get focused on your training. And yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything we need to say, really. Um, all I say is, oh, quick camera change.
I
Um,
might
all
try
I,
and switch it back.
all I say is, anyone has any questions with post show, please let us know. You can always follow the link in my Instagram bio or Elliot, and you can drop us a message on WhatsApp. Equally, if you want to inquire for coaching, do that through our Instagram bio links, and we can chat a little bit further. Yeah, if you want to maximize your post show phase, have a plan in place and have someone that's kind of giving you a direction with it. Absolutely. But yeah, it's been good. I think it's been a good topic.
Sweet. I think we can sign out there, to be honest with you, bro.
Yeah,
Anything else?
yeah. Appreciate everyone watching, guys. Really appreciate all the support of the podcast. It's going really well, so we're going to keep the videos coming. And subscribe if you're new to the channel. Like it if you enjoyed it. Comment donuts if you're here at the end.
Comment donuts. I like
Yeah.
it.
And yeah, we'll see you in the next video.
Sweet.